Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Man Cave Mondays. I am Dan in the Man Cave, and you might notice something a little interesting down at the bottom of my screen if you're watching with us live. We have a phone number. And tonight we are going to be talking about spooky stories or conspiracy theories, and we want to hear from you. If you got something crazy or spooky to share, Joe is going to be our operator. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you, man?
Good. Ask that anyone who calls in try to keep their story as short as possible.
Yes.
So if you have a 30-minute story, email it to us.
Email it to us. Leave a comment. Leave a real big, long comment. And in addition to that, I would also tee up the entire conversation with, if you don't want to call in, but you want to leave a message or you want to engage in the conversation, if you go to the link that is listed on Facebook with this, it's just streamyard.com/Facebook, and give permission to Facebook to link with StreamYard, which is what we use to do this show, then we'll actually be able to see your name here in the comments, and then we can actually throw your comments in the show, which would be awesome. Like, for example, Alec. Hey, guys. There he is, chiming in already. Great to see you, dude. Welcome for joining the show. If you guys have any spooky stories or anything like that, we want to hear it. So that's going to be scrolling across the bottom. That number will be there. And Joe's the operator. Kind of running a lean and mean program this week with you, Joe, and myself, and Alberto. You muted yourself, dude. You muted yourself.
Okay, now
there it is. There he is.
Man, I can't ever get on time.
I swear it's like I'm at work right now.
It's a curse.
My job, I work IT in education, and everybody's doing everything with Zoom right now. And the amount of times we have to say, "You're muted right now. Stop. You got to unmute yourself." Yeah. So glad to have you here, dude. How was your guys' week?
My week.
Bro, are you eating on the show again? For real. We need to get like an avatar of you, just like a little digital dude, just eating away. I guess I'm drinking Mountain Dew to keep me awake through this, but
it's dinner time. It's dinner time.
It's dinner time. It is. Joe, how was your week?
Extremely busy. I had to
show us your mason jar. Show us your mason jar. It's very fitting.
Oh.
It's a skull.
Cinnamon Coke and Jim Beam.
Cinnamon Coke and Jim Beam in a skull mason jar.
Yep. So this week we celebrated 2 birthdays.
Wow, 2 birthdays in your house?
The 14th and 15th.
Really?
Yeah, it's an expensive week.
That is a very expensive week. My birthday's coming up next week too.
Yeah.
So this is a crazy month for birthdays. There's a lot of birthdays going around.
And you will be 37, remember?
Yes, I will be 37.
Not 38.
No. Why are you reminding me, dude? For real. My ADD goes nuts as it is, let alone trying to keep track of my age and doing math to figure it out. When you get old enough to the point where you have to do math in order to figure out how old you actually are, it all just blurs together and none of it matters. So whatever.
I might be 25, but my lower back's definitely 38.
Yes. Yes, Alberto, that is exactly right. My lower back is like 68, probably. No. Anyway, Alberto, how was your week? A couple weeks, actually. It's been a while since we've done the show. So
it has been a couple weeks. It's been pretty good in the spirit of Halloween. My girlfriend and I, we watched Evil Dead 1 and 2. And then now
nice.
I texted you guys about it. I found out that the Evil Dead show is on Netflix, and I'm already in season 3. It is just as cheesy, as action-packed, as sarcastic as Ash has been it is definitely the whole comedy of Army of Darkness
Mhm.
combined with the entire action of just Evil Dead 2. So super loving it. Super loving
Evil
it.
Dead 2 or Army of Darkness?
I would say a little more of like the gore action, like the whole severing heads, chainsaw down
So
at the
that's
middle.
Army. That's Evil Dead. Army of Darkness is
Number 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, have you
No.
seen Army of Darkness yet? You still haven't seen it, have you?
I have
No, I
not.
don't think so. Dude,
It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. So
it's on Hulu. You should watch it.
It is. I did watch
It's very good.
The Wolf of Snow Hollow Friday night. It was good.
Okay.
what is that? Wolf of Snow Hollow?
It's a werewolf movie that
Yeah.
just came out a couple weeks ago.
My house, the spooky movies we've been watching have been at the 4-year-old level. So we have watched Monster House.
Oh,
Great Zemeckis and Spielberg film there. And what else did we watch? Oh, Coraline.
That's a creepy
Watched
movie.
that.
For
That's a creepy ass movie. I know. I was a little weirded out as to, nervous about if my kid was going to have nightmares
Mhm.
and be horrified. But she fell asleep before it got to the really creepy spider lady part at the end. That's like chasing after her and everything. Like, so I was feeling pretty good about that. She fell asleep.
go perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Yeah. So, speaking of creepy, spooky stuff, that's what we're talking about tonight. And I, to be honest with you, felt like I was not nearly as qualified to lead this discussion as one of our other members here on the panel, that being Joe. So I'm totally cool with just kind of giving the reins over to you, Joe. I'm letting you lead the discussion.
Okay.
And then see where it goes. We don't have a lot of news tonight. We're kind of skipping and foregoing the news because there's a lot of creepy stuff out there. So
Since Christian's not here, Xbox is doing great.
Oh my god.
They are, though. They really are.
They're
Dang it.
surpassing
They're-
PS5.
He's about to pop in just because he said that now. It's like a
Dude.
Batman signal. He's like, hang on a second.
Hang on a second. I got to come back to PlayStation's rescue. No, for real, though. Xbox is they're in a real good position right now. And I know Phil Spencer dropped a little bit of a weird teasery kind of, maybe we're not going to confirm if Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be on the new PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't necessarily say flat out, oh yeah, it's not going to PlayStation, but he wouldn't confirm that it is going to PlayStation.
Because that would drive sales to Xbox.
Yes,
Marketing.
exactly.
So, all right.
I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet that it probably will, but it'll be a significantly delayed release, is my guess.
But also in the spirit of Christian, I will say though, the big thing for me, PlayStation wise, Ghost of Tsushima DLC, completely free if you own the game. It comes with an entire online co-op campaign you can do, a horde mode, which is like, imagine yeah, it's like horde mode. Imagine it like Gears of War horde, but samurais, and then there's a nightmare campaign as well because of Halloween time.
I'm cool with that.
And there's going to be an additional 3 chapters released coming soon.
Is it on sale right now or no?
Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know if it is on sale, but if it is, at least let me know.
It's a $60 game still, I think, right?
Yeah,
I mean, got sales going on every now and then, but
I'm sure coming next month, I'm sure it's going to go on sale for like at least $20 off. But it's so cool that they just like, hey, do you own this game? There you go. Just take that. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Alec, definitely not a fan of Xbox, dude.
Yeah,
you gotta get on the Xbox train. It is the future of video games. I'm just saying.
He's a Stadia guy.
So
reminder to everybody else that's jumping in and leaving comments, make sure you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just link Facebook, because I'm looking at comments and I can't see anybody else's names right now. I know it's weird and dumb, but Facebook wants to know for sure that you're okay with linking your comments to our little chat here. So anyways, anything else news-wise worthy of talking?
Yeah, Batman is in Chicago.
Batman, right? And there's these weird pictures popping up of a Superman costume and a Wonder Woman costume on the set of the Batman movie. Christian, in our little conversations back and forth, kept freaking out and going, are they going to be officially already in the universe of whatever this movie is in? I'm curious what you guys think. Like, do you think this means anything, or is it just like the cast is doing a Halloween party and they're all dressing up as DC characters? Like,
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about, Joe? Let me see if I can find the picture. I'll find the picture. Alberto, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, to kind of answer that, you ever seen the movie Kick-Ass?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember in the
1
movie?
or 2, right?
What do you say?
1 or 2?
Number 1.
1. Okay.
I remember in the movie Kick-Ass, maybe in the first like 30, 45 minutes, Kick-Ass is doing such like a good job. He starts to inspire locals to start dressing up like in costumes too. And I remember that there was a local that dressed up as Kick-Ass, and the mob guy went to go hunt that kid down thinking it was the actual hero, and turned out just to be just a fan cosplaying, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
So I'm kind of wondering, maybe since Batman is kind of in a dark world, is Batman almost inspiring Superman and Wonder Woman people, or fans, to go get costumes to go try to take justice by their own hands too, but they're also getting in the crosshairs of the Penguin and maybe other supervillains in the movie?
Maybe. Let me see if I can find. Is this going to show me the picture or not? I'm looking at the stupid thing. It's not loading up here very fast.
Because I couldn't imagine like Superman.
Here we go. There we go. It's on Twitter. Let me just bring this up here. Hold on. Screen share. And there it is. Boom. If I can zoom in on this. Like, this is apparently, supposedly, some dude dressed up as Superman. I mean, it seems pretty clear that's Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like Superman. But, like, kind of like what you were saying, Alberto, like, is it the Superman?
Yeah. I
have my doubts as to whether or not it is the Superman. But then that raises the question, though, like what if someone's dressing up as Superman in the universe, whether it is or isn't the actual Superman, that means that the character of Superman is a thing that someone would dress up as in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, like, does that mean it's a confirmation of the fact that Superman is a thing and he exists already? Or is he just some comic book character that people are referencing and dressing up as? Is it like, there's a lot of weird questions about this. There are some people who are saying, no, it's literally just the cast members, some people just dressing up as DC characters for some thing on set for the cast. Like, it's
his
not
cape
part of the movie. So
his cape is really short.
Yeah.
It looks like a costume.
And look, oh yeah, dude. And let me see if I can find some of the other pictures of a little bit closer shot. Like, it doesn't look anything like an actual Superman costume at all. Like, it looks super cheesy. Let me see if I can find it. And this whole movie got pushed back too, which I was really upset about.
A huge bummer.
It's getting pushed back to 2022. I'm like, come on.
And then again, I feel like
COVID.
2020
and Wonder Woman was spotted too. I forgot about that. Wonder Woman was spotted too. Let me see if I can find it. Did they have that photo? Okay. So they're saying that it is Halloween costumes, which would kind of fit. to some degree, because this is supposed to be kind of based off of the Long Halloween, I thought, right, Alberto? Is that what?
Yeah, that was at
right?
least my understanding of it too.
Right. Like they're kind of taking some of the story arc from the Long Halloween. And it's totally just Halloween costumes. You can tell. Like that's not
It
a
is.
very
No,
high
no.
end kind
That
of
man's messed up on steroids. Bad.
right. Right. So the question is, what the hell is this stuff doing on set? Like, what is this? If they're just Halloween costumes, are they actually in the movie? Or is this just people doing a Halloween party on set? Like,
We will wait until 2022 to find
I
out.
guess. What would you think of if Superman, Wonder Woman, all of the Justice League people were already established as part of the universe that they're making in this movie?
Wouldn't bother me at all.
Wouldn't bother you at all?
No.
No?
No.
It wouldn't bother me if the whole DCEU didn't already exist. Like if they already exist, then my question is, okay, that's totally fine. So is there going to be another movie kind of letting me know, or is there going to be like a really good continuity storyline that's going to tell me how we got from there to here now?
Yeah.
And then that raises the question that like Batman was kind of, at least from the way I saw it, like in Justice League or in Batman vs Superman, kind of surprised at these supernatural superhumans. So if he did meet them already in the timeline in his past, why was he so surprised almost having to meet them again and talk to them? I don't know. I think it raises too many questions.
It does. And I like and in my mind, I feel like if this is supposed to be like year 2 or year 3 or whatever Batman, then like Batman's supposed to have rised out of tragedy and feeling like he needs to do something because there's nothing else in the world that would be able to do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
That was that whole thing is the motivation comes from a world that does not yet have Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then he steps up, and then slowly but surely all these other people start showing up, and then he creates stuff that finds a way to take them down and take them out should they ever go psycho, and then joins the Justice League, proving that he's smart enough and rich enough to be valuable for all of these super people. So I don't know that I'm really sold on the idea that I would be disappointed if there was any reference to them even being in existence in this movie. I would be disappointed, but we'll see. We'll see how they do that.
On a bit of a final like movie news, at least, I also want to say that it was really cool to hear Disney talk about how 2021 where they're going to be reshifting their focus.
No more movies.
Yeah, everything's going to be streamed. Their eyes
Everything's
are
on Disney Plus.
So
I don't know that I like that either. I like going to the movies.
I love going to the movies, but if this year has proven anything, I remember when the COVID first started, and at work, my boss told me, "You're going to be working from home just for 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks." And then the end of that week happened, and they're like, "Okay, we'll see you actually one more week." Now it's October, Halloween's right around the corner, and offices have still been closed this whole time. So who's really to say what's going to end up happening next year? But on the plus side, it seems that at least Disney learned from their Mulan $30 premium charge that people don't want to do that because they're going to be putting Soul, the movie, for free.
I heard about that. They're making it free, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So now that raises the question: is Black Widow going to be free, and all the other 2021 movies that are supposed to be scheduled for Disney release?
Alec was dropping a question in here. He's wondering if there's any word on Godzilla versus Kong.
It has been postponed until spring.
Spring is what I heard. Yeah. Spring 2021. That's a bummer too, because we would have seen that one this summer already, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Seriously. Wonder Woman, all of this stuff. It's such a bummer. Anyway. So that's the news, I guess. Is there anything else that came up that you guys want to chat about?
At least you can play as Rambo next month in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
That's super cool.
Your worst nightmare. Yes.
I showed my dad the trailer, and immediately he's like, "When's it coming out?"
Right?
The first question.
Exactly. Just to be able to have Sly versus Arnold in Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Well done, NetherRealm Studios.
It's gonna be awesome.
Totally approved. Joe, are you even remotely in?
I'm not interested.
No?
I've only seen Rambo 1 and 2.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. All right.
So,
well, it's definitely the likeness is closer to the first two movies.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it's definitely closer to younger Sly than it is older Sly. So,
but I would like to see Terminator's in Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
Terminator's in there. RoboCop is in there. Spawn is in there.
Yeah.
Rambo is in. Like they're just like throwing haymakers.
They're going full 80s, and it's
awesome.
Super awesome. Like I think next week on Call of Duty Warzone, you can play as Leatherface for Halloween time. So
really, I did not hear about that.
You can walk around with the stretched skin mask on him and run around Call of Duty like that in complete night mode.
But if it's Call of Duty first person shooter, you're not seeing it.
They do have a gun. They do have a gun called Finn, and it does have like a chainsaw attachment. And that's going to sound like the most ridiculous Call of Duty thing ever.
Really cool. But dressing yourself up as Leatherface is for everyone else to watch you as Leatherface. You can't see yourself as Leatherface. It's the first person perspective. So that's why I kind of like Friday the 13th, because it's like you can actually see Jason when you're playing as Jason. But spooky stories.
Spooky stories.
Where do we want to start with this conversation?
We're going to start with UFOs and with cryptids.
Oh boy! So explain and clarify what cryptids are for those that are not entirely sure what you mean by that.
Cryptids are Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman.
So like all the cryptozoology stuff. Okay.
Dogman.
Okay.
But we're going to start with the UFOs. So earlier, our government announced that they've actually been tracking UAVs, something, not UAVs. They're using different terminology. But I actually posted a
different terminology than UFO.
Yeah.
Unidentified flying object is not the term anymore.
Is not the term. And so Popular Mechanics, New York Times, and all came forward with articles saying, hey, we're actually tracking these UFOs. We don't know where they're at. And there's actually a government document saying that they have a ship not of this earth.
Okay.
You can find it on .gov, a .gov site.
A .gov site?
Mm-hmm.
What site is this? Did you share the site with me?
I did not.
You did not? How do you go and drop
it's in the article.
Government website has a UFO on it, and you didn't send me that link? What is going on?
Give me
what?
Okay.
I think it was like the Pentagon. I'm trying to find this.
Pentagon's website, so the Pentagon themselves. So okay, but let's break this down here for the sake of clarity. What exactly is the term? Not unidentified flying object. It is something else. Do we know what that term is specifically?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I am pulling that up.
Because I've always figured unidentified flying object means exactly that. It's an object that's flying through the air and we just don't know what it is. That doesn't mean it's an alien. That just means we don't know what it is. And we need a term.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon? Is that the one that...
No, vehicles. UAVs. I was right. It is called
unidentified aerial vehicle.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more of a precise descriptor because they're identifying the fact that it is some sort of, vehicle.
And
like that's a little bit different than just object.
this is on national news as well. It was on Fox, CNN, and everyone just was like, meh, and moved on with their life. And I mean, it's a midst of COVID, and people are like, well, there's thousands of Americans.
When did this come out?
It came out twice.
Ago?
Yeah, it came out twice. Once at the beginning of Corona in April, I think, and then one time again at the end of summer.
And then 3 times. Another time it came out in like 2011. And no one said anything. The video that I posted to YouTube, got from YouTube, is actually from like 2014. And those videos were released. And what's crazy is the driving force is the.
Here's this video. Joe, if you want to walk us through what the hell it is we're actually watching here.
So what we have is some Hornets jet pilots flying against this object, who's flying against whatever it is flying against the wind and is outmaneuvering our top of the line.
This thing right here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. As you can see, it's not emitting any emission whatsoever. And if you keep watching it, it'll tilt and zoom off the screen. And he loses it. Here's another from a different flight, a different ship. They call it a TikTok because it's shaped like a TikTok. It's
TikTok or Tic Tac?
Tic Tac, sorry.
Tic Tac.
Yeah.
A little dot.
That little dot. And so
so what?
Once again,
people think these are aliens. Is that what we're saying? I think these are aliens.
We're saying it's some technology that we have not identified, but then the Pentagon's like, hey, by the way, we have ships not of this Earth. So what do you say to that? What do you say? We don't have a ship.
Pentagon said we have ships that are we have some sort of
ship that's
craft that is not from this planet.
Correct.
How do they know that?
I don't know, man.
How do you know it's not from this planet?
I assume the material is made from a different
like something that's not on the periodic table of elements. Yeah. Is that what we're saying? Oh, come on. Right. Well, for starters, the periodic table of elements is technically not complete anyway. There's a lot of scientific discovery and research that are being done on various different ranges on the periodic table of elements that have yet to officially be created and or discovered. But scientifically, we know they exist or should exist. And even if it's for a brief second, they exist and they fit in a very particular place on the periodic table. Like that's how it's continued to grow and expand. So to say it's not from anything on the periodic table of elements yet, it just means maybe there's more that we need to put on there. But where's so here's the Intelligencer. What is this website? What is this? What is the Intelligencer? Do you know?
Did you send that? Or did
you sent me this link.
I sent you the Popular Mechanic one.
And this one here. You sent me both of them. There's this one.
It just is saying the same thing, that a U.S. contractor went in front of the Pentagon at a hearing saying, hey, we do have this. We got the chance to study it. It's not of this Earth. And it's nuts. Here's my question. Isaac says, and there are man-made elements on the table, so could be a brainy person who made something. I mean, have you guys ever seen a UFO?
No. No. I've never seen a UFO. I love movies about them. I love movies about them, but no, I've never seen a UFO.
I have.
You've seen a UFO, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, share your story. How, when, and how did you see a UFO?
When I was 14, I was coming back from hunting one night with my dad, and we crossed this open field, approximately about 10 acres big, and this black triangle, about the size of a football field, was hovering above the tree line. We stopped, got out, and watched it for about 10 minutes. It had a faint glowing blue light right in the center of it. And I watched it for 10 minutes, and it was black as it can get, blocking out the stars behind it. And my dad went home and called the local airport and said, "Hey, we saw this." And they said they had no flights whatsoever in our area. And so that's what I saw. I know it sounds crazy, but
I mean, obviously, it sounds crazy, but
yeah.
I totally believe you
I
saw
seen
something.
I saw something.
I totally believe you saw something. Alberto, what are your thoughts on UFOs? I'm just curious. Like, do you think there's a possibility or no?
I don't know. This is a tough thing. Obviously, Dan, so full disclosure, of course, I believe in Christianity. So these kind of articles, for sure, like, it definitely rocks the boat of like the understanding of like what is and isn't. And there's always been like a feeling that there's something, but then in order to believe there's something, then the next natural question, at least for me, when it comes to religion, and would be like, where does it fit with what's already been written then? And does it fit? And if not, is I was like, where, like, is this just something that no one knew? It just goes into this endless conversation. So to answer your question,
that's a very deep answer.
So to kind of answer your question, reluctantly, I'll have to say I do believe in it. I just really don't know where it all fits with religion and how the definition of everything that we know, whether it should change, be updated. I don't know. It's a lot of questions.
Personally, I think it comes down to two things. One is it's either man-made, and a government on this planet has made it and it's test flying it, or two is alien. And once again, coming back to the whole faith aspect of it, how do you fit that into faith? That's, the three of us are believers in Christ, and so like, how does that fit?
It's true. That's true. That's good.
And the only thing, like, how, like, do they believe in it? They believe in a God or what? Or the third option, we're totally wrong about the second option, and we have no idea, and we're just made up everything to make us feel better.
Personally, I don't believe aliens exist. I really don't. I just do not.
So do you think those are man-made ships that they're test flying?
I think there's lots of stuff going on at all kinds of levels of technology, all kinds of levels of government authority, all kinds of levels of all kinds of crazy conspiracy stuff that we, the general public, are not privy to.
Okay.
And so in our limited knowledge, we try to fill the gaps with the best possible explanation that we can come up with.
So you do agree that they're tracking something that's flying? That's not organic.
I'm sure clearly there's something there. Yeah. And clearly there's stuff that's happening and they're tracking stuff and they're doing, it's very possible that there's something else that was going on though, that they just, that's what the term unidentified flying object or flying aircraft. You just don't know. You can't identify it. That's what it means. And so, but the reason why I personally am not real big on believing in aliens, at least to that level, it's just statistically, you look at the mathematical probability and statistics of us being here and existing in the universe, period. And all the stuff that has to get put in place in just the right, precise way for us to even exist and be sustained in the universe is so mathematically improbable. I find it very unlikely. And yes, that even includes, despite how massive and vastly huge and infinitely expansive the universe is, computers are amazing and they've done some pretty awesome calculations, and statistically it's still next to nothing, the probability of that existing elsewhere. So that's for me, that's my position on it. Could I be wrong? Sure. But mathematically speaking, it sounds like we won the lottery here on Earth. It's very unlikely that happened anywhere else in my mind. But it's time travelers from the future, and they're bringing school classes back to say, "Hey, here's the fall of mankind." COVID 2020. COVID-19. Yeah, right.
I will say,
don't go to 2020. Whatever you do, don't go to 2020. Right.
I would say though, like as a bit of to kind of like clarify though, like when it comes to aliens, I think the hardest thing to always like believe in these kind of things is episode 1 of South Park, where Cartman gets an anal probe, and
there we go.
So it's stuff like that like there are some real outlandish stories sometimes that I think just completely make you immediately dismiss any sort of potential evidence, because you're like, so next thing you're gonna tell me is that someone took you to the sky, they put something in your butthole, and then you woke up the next morning and it hurt to poop.
No, they're gonna say I fell asleep or lost track of time, or there's like 3 hours of time that I don't know what happened, and now my butt hurts, and so clearly I got abducted by aliens and they anal probed me. That's what happened, or whatever.
So when it comes to like aliens,
what's happening on our screen?
I don't know. It's YouTube. Oh, it's YouTube. That's YouTube.
If there is like aliens, I probably would say it's a little more like in the sense of just some
YouTube
sort of like
advertisement, whatever that was.
Some sort of like different kind of creatures and beings. I mean, I'm sure they won't look like Joe, Dan, and I, but they probably look like something. Now, do they look like gigantic eyeballs and with long fingers, and they say phone home and stuff like that? Nah, probably
right.
That's probably just the sci-fi 1980s and us just going to work.
Right.
Isaac asks, what would the purpose be to have God create another intelligent race?
Whoa, that is the heaviest thing I've ever been asked my entire life.
What would the purpose be?
What was our purpose be? What was our purpose in creation?
What, dude? You're asking the guy who said that aliens don't exist. So
I know.
I'm
asking you? Why is
you're asking me what the purpose would be for God to create something that I don't believe in? That's a really silly question.
I'm asking you. I'll re-ask the question slower.
Okay.
What was the purpose that God created us for?
To know Him and to love Him and to worship. Right. Yeah.
So He created another race not to do that. It's possible.
Okay,
why would He need to create another race to do that when there's plenty of us who are doing a decent enough job of that all on our own? Like, what is the point of that? I don't necessarily see the logic there. But
I was gonna be no pun intended, but devil's advocate in this.
Okay, let's hear it.
I would say, what if we were made second, we were made second, they were made first, and maybe that's what explains the advancements that they have that we're slowly starting to catch up on. That's just devil's advocate.
So like the aliens that you're talking about are actually what, like
they were the first
angelic beings that exist somewhere else in space or something like that? Is that where we're going with that?
That, or maybe they're like the first type of humans, and we're T2000 or whatever.
You've been watching Prometheus, haven't you? You've been watching Prometheus. That's what you've been doing. You've been watching. I love that movie.
I'm watching a lot of people that.
All righty. What do our listeners think? There's some comments here. Let me see if I can chime some of these in. Okay. So Alex is going, what about the Mormon faith? I was a Mormon before. They believe we lived with God and chose to come down here into a human body. Does that fit in with the what is going on with all these stupid ads? Let me get rid of these ads. Yeah, I keep having Joe's UFO stuff in the background, and then it goes to an advertisement. Hi, thanks for joining in. I don't know who that is. But thank you for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Joe, do you want to try and tackle that question about aliens and hanging out with God and Mormonism? I know you're familiar with Mormonism a little bit, right?
I am familiar with Mormonism, and I'm just going to say it. Joseph Smith was a fraud, and it's a cult, and it misled a lot of people.
Throwing back to the South Park, dum 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 dum.
Absolutely.
You seen that episode, right, bro? You seen that episode?
No, not yet.
Dude,
I've never seen something capture the theology of Mormonism so well.
I've been wanting to watch that. And
so well. That's very.
I've been wanting to watch the musical of it too. The Book of Mormons from Trey.
The Book of Mormon. I've seen it. Yeah, I went to see it in. It was like 2 years ago. Went for an anniversary with Haley. It was good, actually. I enjoyed it.
What a musical for an anniversary.
I'm telling you, it was actually really entertaining. It was very entertaining. And I like South Park, so it's guilty pleasure. But
oh yeah.
Alex said he jumped headfirst into it before doing his research. Most people do.
It's true. It's true.
So, is there anyone out there listening to us that has seen a UFO?
It's a good question. You can give us a call.
Call
Joe if you want to give us your story, or leave a comment. Sure. And again, for those of you watching on Facebook, remember to chime in on StreamYard.com/Facebook so we can use your actual name. That would be great. Alex saying he's seen a UFO.
Call the number, Alec. Tell us.
There we go. Yeah, feel free. Alberto, have you ever seen a UFO or no?
No, but I'm waiting for the conversation to continue so then I can share one.
Yeah, we got other topics to move on to.
I do have one supernatural story, but I'll save it until it's appropriate.
We'll wait.
We're gonna give Alec 10 seconds to
if he wants. He's giving us an okay. It sounds like he's gonna chime in here real quick. Awesome. Thanks for calling in, dude. I'm excited.
But I will say though, I remember the movie when I was a kid when Signs came out. Oh, and it's just that alien walking by, like at the birthday party. Whoa, Nelly. I was scared to go to any birthday party for about 2 years.
It made my skin crawl.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
I mean, again, I was a kid.
By? I screamed.
I was a kid. I was still wearing Velcro shoes. So, yeah,
I was disappointed with that movie because I was expecting it to be more like, Independence Day aliens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I want to see somebody kick some ass here. And it definitely wasn't that. I watched it again later and realized it was really more of an interesting commentary on faith and science and like that whole, and purpose and destiny and all of that fun stuff. So
I have Alec on the phone. So can you guys hear him? Say hi, Alec.
Hello.
Hey, good to hear from you, dude. So tell us, what is the story of you and a UFO? I got to hear this.
Can they hear me?
Yeah.
He turned it down on his end. So what's the story about your UFO? Let's hear it.
All right. We used to live in Florida. I'll make this short and sweet. Me, my sister were over at a friend's house, and we just happened to step outside. and I seen my sister Aubrey kind of staring off across the railroad tracks over the trees, and I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, she was like in a comatose state kind of stare, so I happened to look over myself, and I saw this ball of light just sitting there kind of hovering, and it was like bouncing at the same time as it was hovering, and these lights were going around it. By that time, CJ and Gwen came outside, and we all saw the same thing. It was doing this for about 5 or 10 minutes, and this big white light came up behind it, and it disappeared. And we stood there for about 2 minutes, and nobody said a word to each other. I can't explain what I saw. None of us could explain what we saw. It was probably one of the weirdest things that I have ever seen in my entire life. I couldn't.
How high was it up in the sky?
Probably good 100 feet. I mean, it was up there.
There's a natural phenomenon with a ball of lightning that forms, and it blinks and flashes. This ball of light, and it's lightning that floats across. Okay. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I have not. No, I mean, like I said, it was. Go ahead.
I encourage you to YouTube it and see if it looks anything similar to what you saw.
I'm gonna just point out right now.
We were at that age. Close disclaimer here. Our parents thought we were doing the devil's lettuce and all that stuff, and I'm like, I can assure you, none of us were partaking in that. But
fair enough.
I definitely, like I said, it was one of the weirdest things, and like even talking about it gave me goosebumps. Because we had never seen anything like that before. Like you said, you see it on TV, you see it on sci-fi movies, but to actually experience it, it was pretty wild.
Dan, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say you've got a really amazing floating light behind you there. It's like it's just kind of like resonating, and I don't know.
He's talking about my lighting. I appreciate the call. We appreciate the call, Alex.
So, no problem.
Seriously,
right.
thank you very much for calling in. I
much.
Appreciate it, dude.
You have a good night, man.
No problem, sir.
All right, thanks for watching.
Yep.
Yeah, that UFO behind you there, dude. That's there it is. It keeps popping up, man. What's going on? You're like under surveillance for real. That's
When I like to think I'm a logical person. I try to figure things out. If I see something that I cannot explain, I try to figure it out. And I mean, I'm not going to jump right to. I saw a UFO that night. What I saw, I still can't figure out unless it was a stealth ship that the U.S. Air Force has that they have never released. That's the only thing I can think of logically that they have.
I mean, it's got. Well, it doesn't say they've got a whole craft either. From what I was reading, it says they've just got pieces. Of what they think is
Roswell.
An unidentified craft that they don't. They are saying is, quote, not of this earth.
So you guys want to move on to Ghost?
I'm curious what exactly that means, but yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on to Ghost.
Let's move on to something else. The alien thing, yeah. Okay, moving on.
So first question I have for you guys is, do you guys believe in ghosts?
Yeah, that one. Oh, no hesitation. Yeah.
Damn. No, I don't.
Dang ghosts. Dang
what? What?
They're in the Bible, man.
No. There's a difference between
a spirit,
angelic or demonic forces and ghosts of people's spirits who are still hovering around or whatever. If we're talking about like our faith and our belief and our Christianity and like what that says, my understanding of all of that is once you die, you're either up or down. Like you're going to heaven, you're going to hell, like time's up. You're not kind of floating around, hanging around and messing with people. So ghosts, as is traditionally understood and defined, don't buy it. So,
okay.
To bring clarification, that's what I mean by all of that. So
So can I read? Can I read a Bible passage to you?
Oh boy, we're like diving into like okay, yes.
We're gonna jump to 1 Samuel.
Y'all are gonna try and
28.
make me believe in ghosts right now, aren't you?
Then the woman said, "Who shall I bring up for you?" He said, "Bring up Samuel for me." When the woman saw Samuel, she cried out with a loud voice. The woman said to Saul, "Why have you deceived me? You're Saul." I'm gonna skip.
Skip a few, brother.
No. It's just
It's a little Monty Python there.
Saul says, "What do you see?" And the woman said, "I see a guy coming up from the earth. What is his appearance?" An old man coming up, he is wrapped in a robe, and Saul knew that it was Samuel, and he bowed with his face to the ground and paid homage. And Samuel said, "Why have you disturbed me from bringing me up?" Saul answered, "I am in great distress, for the Philistines are warring against me." That man was dead. He wasn't resurrected.
Right. Is spirit okay? So, but here's my big.
Have you ever heard that?
Yes, and here's the distinction that I understand in that, and we're getting into some real deep theology here, dude, which is not what I was expecting on a Man Cave Mondays conversation. But from a Christian theological perspective, Jesus died and radically changed everything, and there's a difference between the spiritual destination of people now, heaven and hell, versus everything that happened prior. And that's different.
What do you think? Al?
About whether or not ghosts exist?
What do you think happens when you die?
Joel, man. This is such a question.
We're getting deep on this episode. Wow. All
do
right.
you think it's possible that you
go there?
Stuck in a loop?
Stuck in a loop?
Stuck in a loop.
What, like unfinished business, like the movie Casper or something?
No. Stuck in a loop, or have a resonance of energy that is left behind from who you were living. Because
I've been battling with it, and this is a story that like I was saving. I've been battling with it because
lay it on us, dude. Lay it on us.
A lot of times, if you take an old picture, like with a flash camera, back when you used to have like the film rolls, you would develop them, and then you see a ghost. People would say, "Oh, that's just a flash. It's just a reflection or something."
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in Melrose Park, and I remember that when we moved in, of course, we took pictures of the house, like, "Hi, look at me here in the living room and whatnot." Anyway, so there's this big mirror right above like the living room couch, and I remember that we all kind of stood there and we took a picture together. We went to go get the pictures developed, and it wasn't a blurb, it wasn't like a little smudge. Dan, I promise you on everything, I should have found this photograph. I have it upstairs.
Where's this photo? I need to see this photo.
My mom is the mom that likes to take a picture of every single moment in life. So let me go through 10,000 pictures though. But I promise you, I'll find it. I promise. But there's a picture of this man, this old man with a long.
Show it to us. I want to see it on the show.
And he has like a long trench coat, and he's walking up the stairs, and it's like this weird white and blue aura, just completely kind of just outlining.
Dude walking up the stairs in a trench coat.
Yes.
Of a photo that you took in a mirror in your house.
Yep. And ever since then, I remember when I first.
You don't think it's possible that could be some kind of remnants of the camera you were using or the film that was being used? And
was it of the time period?
No. It was of an older time period, for sure. And
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Just look at that coat. That coat did not say early.
I can't because you don't have the picture, dude. I need the picture.
I'll find it.
I need to see the picture.
I promise. But and that's the problem. That's why I started off by saying that, like, when it comes to film reel or like that kind of flash photography, the first thing it's probably just the flash. It's just the way it was developed, and that's the easiest thing. So when it comes to like digital. Now there's a lot of easy manipulation, so there's always some sort of reason why, like, not to believe in it. But I just remember that, and then I remember like a few nights after that, I was like really wrestling with it, and I went to bed, And I kid you not, Dan, I was fully awake. I went to bed, and then like I woke up, and I didn't want to get up out of bed because at the end of my bed, I promise I heard. Imagine Hunter's growl, like just a really angry growl.
Hunter is my dog. For those of you that don't know, Hunter.
And it is not
My
a little
dog.
Chihuahua. That is a dog that Dan has.
He's a dog. Oh yeah, he's a pointer pit mix. He's a dog for sure.
And I just felt this
Get your
heavy.
attention.
I got this heavy growling, heavy low growling by the tips of my toes at the end of my bed, and I could not move. I was frozen with fear, and my whole body just felt super light. And then I remember just like laying there and like praying to God. I'm like, I don't know what's there. I don't know what's there, guys. Just please let it go away. And I just felt it get louder and louder. And eventually it was just silent, completely silent, like all of a sudden. And I just lay there in sweat, and I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep that entire day.
So what? Okay, but here's the question. What's to say that is a ghost as opposed to some sort of
Like demonic
figure that's like seriously messing with you and trying to get you all messed up with your theology and thinking stuff and believing stuff that isn't actually biblical.
Exactly.
Okay.
Since we're all Christians here, like that's the, you know what I'm saying? Like from my perspective, it's like, hey, yeah, I believe in the afterlife. I'm a Christian, obviously. Yes, I believe that there are spiritual forces that are at work, without a doubt. But the idea that it's grandma and grandpa coming back to mess with me, or some dude's great uncle that got stabbed by his mistress in the den and he hasn't left in 400 years or whatever. I don't buy it. I don't see how that lines up theologically, and it definitely doesn't make a whole lot of sense scientifically. So
okay,
those are my two filters. So I'm sorry if I'm the naysayer and the Debbie Downer of the group. I'm not.
Both Dan and I went to school to be pastors.
It's true.
So
it's true.
I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, Dan.
Oh gosh. Y'all are sticking with us here. I'm noticing the amount of people still watching this. This is way more in depth than we were expecting.
Question number one: when you die, do you go to heaven or you sleep? The scriptures support both.
I understand. You go to heaven or you go to hell. Your spirit goes to heaven or it goes to hell.
Just hypothetically, what if you are sleeping and your spirit sleepwalks? I'm being serious.
Chapter and verse, brother. Really? Sleepwalking as a spirit? Okay.
I'm just saying that there's an area that we're not 100% clear on. Would you agree with that?
No, I would. It's 100% clear. You are appointed once to die, and then comes the judgment. Like that is the verse, right? So
there.
It's
not clear,
and that's
it's not clear whether you die and go straight to heaven or you die and you sleep until judgment and then go to heaven. That's not clear. It's not.
I've actually kind of wondered that too. I wondered if do we just chill there until Jesus is like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and then all of a sudden,
no.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up, guy? Let me see what's in your heart. Are you good?
I don't think that's how it works. I'll have to maybe dive in a little more. Joe, if you've got actual scriptural stuff to try and send me, I'm happy to.
But I'm just saying that's not clear, right? You agree that's not clear?
In my mind, it's very clear, but we can agree to disagree on that, I guess.
So going back to ghost stories, so you've never experienced ghosts before?
No.
And
this is where, so going back to the last episode that we had, we were talking about scary movies, and the creepiest movie that I've ever walked out of. For me, one of the creepiest ones I said last time was Paranormal Activity. One of the reasons why I had that at the top of my list and why it was so creepy for me, because it wasn't about a ghost. It was about a intensely powerful demonic force that was possessing somebody. Way different than just angry grandma's spirit that, nobody's showing up for her funeral and she didn't get to bake the last apple pie that she wanted to for everybody. So now she's wandering the house opening and closing the doors to continually try and bake the apple pie for all eternity. Like, I don't buy that.
I have
at all. But the other stuff, yeah.
I have two experiences. One, when I was newly married to my ex-wife, we lived in this townhouse.
Welcome back, Shauna. Welcome back. Glad you guys are sticking with us.
Actually, you know what? We have a caller calling us. Hold on 1 second.
You got a caller? Yeah.
Hold on.
Sweet. Alberto.
Yes.
So if you believe in ghosts, I'm assuming you believe in like demonic figures and all that stuff too, then.
Yeah, and especially I was mentioning before, like in the group message, growing up Hispanic, we definitely believe in like like witchcrafts, type of stuff, demons and all that stuff. It was
right.
It's kind of really big in our culture, and the whole afterlife stuff about where your spirit kind of goes is the heavy thing.
So this is going to be kind of weird. This is kind of weird, but I was not as privy to a lot of that cultural stuff until I watched, this is going to sound really dumb, the movie Coco.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Were you waiting for that?
I saw it. You were like loading up.
So I'm curious, Coco. Like how much attention to detail does that movie have for a lot of that stuff?
I personally want to say a lot because because like when it comes to the death, like for example, an uncle of mine passed, and almost as an anniversary thing, most people kind of just remember, and sometimes people will go to the gravesite and pay their respects. We would often end up going to the gravesite. Tons of family will come and we'll bring beers and food, and we'll all just hang out there. And it was a constant thing that like happens like year after year after year to real close ones. It's like a nonstop celebration, kind of like graveyard, kind of like social gathering party thing, and it's to celebrate your life. And
right, and I actually think that's pretty cool. Like to be very intentional about remembering the people whose legacy you are living out today, and that you are where you are today because of that. That's really cool. Totally love that.
And we have a whole thing, like a shrine thing. We call it the ofrenda. And it happens, and they showed it in Coco, like the table with all like the pictures of everyone, with all like the blessings and whatnot. In my house, we have that. October 20 or 31st hits, and every Hispanic goes to the Hispanic markets, and they get the little candles with Jesus on it, all different kinds of breads. And every day you would try to prepare a meal for them to eat with you while you're eating during that entire time of the holiday.
So if you make like your 3-bean casserole and you make a bowl for them and you set it there.
Yeah.
So sits there and gets nasty. Like, does anybody do anything with it? Like, what happens to it? I'm curious. Like, they're not going to consume it. They're not going to eat it.
I'm hungry.
Normally you'll end up throwing it out. Most times, at least in my house, anytime you throw out food, you always break it into 4s, and then you do a quick prayer over the food as well, especially during like the Day of the Dead, or at least in our house. And you just have all the pictures of your loved ones. So I have pictures of grandfather and grandpa, and every time you pass by, we have it right by the front door. Every time you pass by, you just do a quick prayer. You talk to them essentially, because they're kind of visiting. It's them like there with you. So I thought Coco did like an awesome job, really showing just like family is so big, and the whole afterlife idea. It's not that they're gone, like they have to be here, but there is a sense of truth when they were talking about like their life really truly ends once you stop talking about them. And like here to this day, like I still hear stories of all my uncles, my aunts, my cousins. We still talk about them. We still share the stories.
And that's very cool. I like that component to it. I don't know that I buy into the direct theology of all of it, but I love the fact that, like people are absolutely forgotten. If you choose not to talk about them, then they're not. Their memory and their impact is not going to be as significant unless people keep talking about it and keep sharing that. Like, that's absolutely true.
There's that quote that says that you die twice: the day that you die and the day someone speaks your name for the last time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
good. That's really good.
So
Yeah.
I definitely love this. So spooky time, Halloween. I mean, American culture wise, we get all the really cool movies. Spanish culture wise, I get to see my uncle and my grandma and my grandpa on the table there, and we have everything lit for them. It's like a real precious thing.
That's
cool. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it culturally disrespectful to see other people dress up on Day of the Dead?
I want to say like I think yes and no. I think it really goes based off of the individual though, because unfortunately there is a lot of people that dress up for it to look cool, I think, or they dress up for it more to kind of say that look at me, I'm really unique. And if you're going to dress up as it and you're not part of the culture, I think the most important first step is to understand why we do that. What kind of practices do they do during that whole week, and what leads up to it in the heavy importance. Otherwise, you're just somebody like you might as well just wear a sombrero and bring maracas with you and say that like I love Mexican food, because that's almost the equivalent that we feel to it. But if there's someone like in American culture who generally like wants to understand, respects it, loves it, and does it, and also in a sort of a celebration, I think kudos to them. I think anyone outside of our culture that wants to genuinely just learn more about it and not criticize it, I'm open arms for all of that every single time, for sure.
That's all right.
Awesome. I need to change my profile pic.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
You're all dressed up as like a skeleton or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Day of the Dead get up, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's totally fine. I mean, I don't think your heart was in that place. Don't worry, your heart's not in that place. It's not like all my cousins.
How could you be so insensitive, Joe?
So
I would point out that you were sensitive enough to be able to ask the question.
Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful to other people.
That's cool.
So two stories. I have Alec on the line waiting for us. And so when I was firstly newly married to my ex-wife, we lived in a 3-bedroom townhouse, and it was 2 stories tall with a wood floor. And one night we were getting ready for bed. We were laying in bed. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and we hear steps coming up our steps, coming up to our bedroom, second floor. And I'm thinking, it's my neighbor. Yeah, like that. And I'm like, it's my neighbor, right? And it comes right up to our bedroom door, and we shut the door and locked it. And the door handle rattles. I pissed my pants. I scared me so bad. I jumped out and I had a katana. I took out my katana. I was like, I kid you not. So I go in and I had her. She called 911. I open the door and no one's there. No one's there at all. I checked the entire house. No one's there.
All right, Dan. Tell me, man. What part of the Snyder Cut does this exist in?
No, seriously, what's going on?
Are you okay?
I'm good. My camera keeps shaking. I don't know what's up with that.
That's what you're doing. And my second story is I was a missionary in South Africa, and I saw a girl start speaking in different tongues because she was possessed, and like had like 15 people around her praying over her. And it wasn't what you thought, like you were seeing The Exorcist or anything.
She wasn't like puking up and like turning her head around and then jumping on the ceiling.
No.
Oh, so that was all Hollywood.
What she was doing is looking at these people, these guys, and naming their sins.
Like just like calling them out.
Yeah,
dude.
I was like, I'm out of here.
Like, I don't want to be on that chopping block.
No. Like
there's a few things in my closet I don't want people to know. Yeah,
no,
I'm just reading people's mail basically is what's going on. Yeah,
like it was straight up creepy and also fascinating at the same time because this woman was possessed.
Mm.
Like legit possessed. And,
Yeah.
And like they had to do a whole like
I mean, being possessed. Yeah, like
they fasted and
Yeah.
prayed. So it was it was interesting.
And here's the skeptic in me though. Here's the skeptic, and I mean, how do we know that they were possessed as opposed to like psychotically deranged or off their meds or having seizures, or you know what I mean? Like those are all of the skeptic questions that get thrown out there. So
I can speak into that.
Yeah, like lay it out, because I'm sure there are people who are going, really? How do you know that that's what
this
it
little
was?
basic white girl from Georgia was speaking Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, multiple different languages that she had no knowledge of at all. And she's speaking multiple different languages because there's pastors where we were at was a like a worship hub for people of all nations to come together. And we had people from like that spoke Afrikaans. We had people speaking German. We had people speaking from Japan, from China. We had people from speaking Portuguese. And she spoke each one of their languages fluently.
So is that the whole like borderline speaking tongue?
Yeah,
kind of deal.
Yeah,
I've heard stories about that kind of
stuff.
And it was like this girl was with the same mission organization that we were with, and so like obviously that's the question we had. Like I had was like, hey, how does she know all these different languages, right? And I asked my team leader. I was like, because she's like from Savannah, Georgia, and my team leader's like, she didn't.
So is this girl like there because her mom sent her there, or like how is this girl there? Why was she there?
She went on a it's called a world race, and basically it's a team of missionaries that partner with other ministries throughout the world.
Okay.
And they spend there like 2 weeks, and she was there at a hub, and basically she had a lot of obviously issues that just came out. So
sounds like it.
So Alex on hold. So
yeah,
let him speak. Alec, you there, buddy?
Yep.
All right, you're it. Alex is going to tell us a ghost story. Go ahead, Alec.
Lay it on us, dude.
All right, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. So, you guys remember a few weeks ago when I was kind of giving out the theory about children and their imaginary friends, how that ties into that possibly being ghosts or people that have passed on, that kind of stuff? Because there's this theory with children that they're still kind of in between this world and the next. That's why they're able to see things that we're not able to, or that we're, once we become old enough, we turn a blind eye to or just ignore. So this ties into a family member that I had passed away in 2001 in a drunk driving accident. His son, Sheldon, never got to meet him. Sarah would always show pictures of Rich to Sheldon. You know, this is Dad, all that stuff. And, you know, a lot of skeptics could say, well, she's showing pictures of him, so that's how he knew what he looked like. But here's the thing. Sheldon was maybe 4 or 5 when this happened. Sarah heard Sheldon talking in his bedroom, and she's like, who is he talking to? She goes in there, opens up the door, and she's like, Sheldon, who are you talking to? And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now. His exact words were, I'm playing with Daddy, but Daddy has to stay in the light. And her mouth dropped. And there's another incident where my nephew was passing away. My sister had a dream, and she's sitting on the bed. You guys can take this with a grain of salt. You know, it could just be completely hypothetical, just coincidence, whatever, but I don't. Because it's just weird how everything lined up. my sister Aubrey, my grandma Nick are sitting on the bed, and a few other family members. My grandma's on the phone. My grandma gasps, and they all turn around and look, and it's Rich sitting on the bed. And my grandma asked, "What are you doing here, Rich?" And he goes, "I'm waiting for Brett." Brett died the next day. We told my grandfather goodbye on, believe it or not, Friday the 13th. He was in hospice. Mm-hmm. And we all got together because we knew it was time. The reason he was even holding on was because he didn't feel that we could go on without him. We all said our goodbyes. We all left. My grandma slept out on the couch next to him. Mind you, my grandparents did not believe, kind of like what you touched on, Dan, when you die, you go to heaven or hell. They're very strong in their faith.
Yeah.
My grandma said after everybody left, light was off, she lay down on the couch. My grandpa was sleeping at the time. She said that he stopped breathing, heard 3 knocks from on the inside of the door, and that's when he went into the labored breathing. And hospice came the next day, and we were kind of asking questions, and they said that he was in within a days, minute, second stage. And I'm not kidding you, not even about 5-10 minutes after my 2 aunts left, his 2 daughters, he ended up dying.
Mm. Wow. Well, I can't argue with that.
And I challenge you guys. I know a lot of this is weird. Like, it's hard to really ponder, because Joe and Dan, you guys kind of know, I've kind of faltered away from my faith just with a lot of different things. And even with this stuff, like kind of stuff that Alberto touched on earlier, what he was talking about, it just, where does it fit into the whole scripture and, after we die, that kind of stuff, I don't know where it fits, but, I can't explain it. And I challenge you guys to, I've mentioned a few shows to watch. These guys don't go in like you see these ridiculous shows of, oh, this house is haunted, this and that. They go in and they listen to people's stories, but they do history on the property. They do history on the building, stuff like that. But they also debunk stuff as well. They try to, well, this person said they saw this or they experienced this. How can we debunk it? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Yeah. I challenge you guys to look this stuff up.
What show is that?
And there's Ghost Nation, but they used to be Ghost Hunters, and Kindred Spirits.
Okay.
Like I said, these people go in, listen to people's stories, but they're also able to say, hey, this could be going on and this is why you're experiencing this, or, this house is this old and, banging pipes, whatever. It's not those ridiculous shows. Right. I don't watch that crap. Okay. I watch stuff that people legitimately go, I can't explain this to you. We have this on video. We have it, audio. I don't know what else to tell you, but your house is haunted. Or sometimes, there's nothing here. I don't know what you were experiencing, that kind of thing. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. So.
No, don't hold it against me, Alec, if I don't watch this show because I'm a scaredy cat, okay?
Coward. Come on.
I won't hold it against you.
All right, man. Thank you for your call.
This is Man Cave Mondays. Come on, Jowl. Thanks for sharing, Alec. That was really big. That's huge, dude.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know that I could argue against anything that he said.
No, when I say crazy, I'm sorry.
Personal story and personal experience. You don't mean crazy as in he's crazy. You mean crazy as in that whole thing is just wild. Yeah.
It's funny because what you said jogged my memory. When my grandma, I had a great aunt that passed away when she was 18. And my grandmother lived in Louisiana, and she said she woke up one night and her sister was at the door, at her bedroom door, saying, "You need to get out of the house. You need to get out of the house right now." So she snatched up her kids and ran to the car and left and drove to where my grandfather was working that night. And tornado hit the house.
Wow.
Wiped it out. And that is one of her favorite stories to tell. And so
that sounds like divine inspiration right there.
Yeah.
That was
Does-
definitely someone looking out for you. So
Does anyone else have any ghost stories they would like to call in and share?
people are welcome to call in and share, or any other story. I mean, yeah,
Or any story, any spooky story.
any spooky story.
So
I don't have any spooky stories. I really don't. I feel like I don't want to say that in a way that
photo though.
I don't. I definitely want to see that.
I'll find it.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't scare very easily. I don't know. I don't mean to say that like, oh, I'm a big tough guy. Like, it's not like that. I just mean like, I usually write off stuff like that as being either like what you had just shared, Joe, like clearly a divine thing where God was trying to send a message, or old house with pipes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's usually where my head goes with that. And I've had more of the latter than the former in my life. So I don't have a ton, but we could
You want to start talking about cryptids?
move on to the other half of we got about a half hour here, and so we're going to call it a night. So
cryptids, when it comes to cryptids,
please help clarify exactly what types of things fall into this category.
Sasquatch,
it's a large one.
Sasquatches, skinwalkers, dogmen.
Skinwalkers?
You never heard of skinwalker?
What is a skinwalker? The term just sounds creepy. What is that?
Okay, I want to tell you my skinwalker story.
Oh, you got a story about skinwalkers?
That's not my story. It's a pastor's story.
A pastor's story about skinwalkers. That's even better. Let's hear that.
So when I was 17, 18 years old, I went to Arizona / New Mexico border to do a mission trip on the Navajo Nation. And while we were there, we built houses for a subdivision. And this pastor housed us. And one night we were just talking, and we were talking about camping outside on top of this mesa. And he was like, "No, I don't feel comfortable with you guys doing that." And I'm like 17. I'm like, "We're not going to fall to our death." And he goes, "It's not that I'm worried about." And he goes, he started talking about skinwalkers, which were like Navajo demons. And he said that when a couple years ago, he went to visit his brother, and he was so their houses are circular. It has a hole in top of it's like a yurt, right? You guys know what a yurt is? It's a house with a hole in the very center of it, almost like a teepee, but not so much. And he says he was laying there one night, and the dog started barking outside, and he hears a loud thud on top of the roof, and so of course he starts fixating on that circle because you can see outside. And he said that what appeared over the edge was a mixture between a mountain lion with human hands looking down. And he went to grab a gun to shoot it, and it got up and ran and turned to a ball of light and disappeared.
What?
Yeah.
There's a pastor saying this. What?
Yes.
Dude. Okay, so I just looked up the term skinwalker.
Whoa.
This is what came up. It looks like a cross between a dude and a hyena with glowing eyes. Of course they have glowing eyes. Why do they always have glowing eyes?
Look at the origin. Glowing eyes. Look at the origin of skinwalkers, though.
It's like a Navajo thing, you said, right?
It is a Navajo thing.
Yeah, like it's great. So
and the Navajo people.
No, that's something totally different. What the
Careful with your Google search. You're being
searched. What the hell is that, dude? That's like what are these alien things. Seriously, you walk. That's ridiculous. So here's a Navajo dude dressed as a skinwalker. Okay.
That's
so
creepy.
How, Joe, do you really believe? Is there any of this stuff that you don't believe? I'm just curious.
The only thing I don't believe is, let me put it this way.
You have to rack your brain and think of the thing that you don't believe. Okay.
I believe that people, especially like the Navajo Nation, they have this belief. This belief is based upon something that they experienced. It's not just coming out of nowhere. And I believe they experienced something of demonic nature or of that sense. I believe that Navajo people are believing that they're experiencing something. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Where if in fact what they are thinking they're experiencing is the actual thing they are experiencing, where are they?
There's been no physical evidence collected of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right. But I think you would probably go so far as to argue that that is different than the king of all cryptids, Mr. Bigfoot.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. This
the classic Patterson footage.
Yep. Have you ever seen it? Alberto, have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it before.
They believe that if there is such thing as a Bigfoot, this is it.
Good old Bigfoot. Turning, looking back, keeps on walking.
Now, they went out to this place on National Geographic. I tried to find the episode to show you, but I couldn't find it. And
there's a lot of.
They measured. They set up where the camera is right now, and they measured how tall this creature was, and it's over 7 feet tall.
They measured the distance, the stride of the walk, and how many steps they take, and what type of size of creature would have to move that far and that many steps. And it's a gigantic animal,
and it has breast.
Yeah, and they've determined that it is a female, according to their analysis of the footage.
And you can also see muscle movement underneath the fur. This is supposedly the best evidence of a Bigfoot out there.
Why didn't they just shoot the thing and bring it home and prove everyone once and for all this is a dude in a suit?
That'd be too convenient, Dan. Too convenient.
Of course it would be. Of course it would be.
I never seen this. This is a.
You've never seen the Patterson footage.
How old is this? Dude. This is like 40?
1967.
Seriously, look at this.
Wow.
Look at this right here. Clearly, that's like. I mean, I'm not seeing like zippers or anything like that. Like that was.
They say that back in 1967, they did not have the technology to replicate that.
Right. Like. So here's where I'm going to surprise everybody. Joe, what is the one thing that of all of this stuff, what is the thing you don't believe in? I'm curious. You didn't really answer that question. We talked about aliens. We talked about ghosts. We talked about demons. We talked about all of these cryptid things. Is there anything you don't?
One thing I'm on the fence on is Bigfoot.
You're on the fence about Bigfoot?
Yes, because everything that I've seen or experienced personally, I can explain away logically. So I am
shocked that Bigfoot is the one that you are on the fence about. Because that's the one that I'm not. I haven't personally experienced anything involving Bigfoot or any other cryptid or ghosts or aliens or anything like that. I'm looking at all of this objectively, trying to take it all in. And the one that I am most likely to go, yeah, it's possible, is probably Bigfoot.
All the cryptids out there in cryptozoology, I believe Bigfoot is the most likely real.
most likely one to be real, is what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Umberto, I'm curious. What are your thoughts?
I was gonna say the same thing, like because I'm assuming like Loch Ness Monster fits in this too, right?
Oh yeah, Loch Ness fits into it, and Chupacabra.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say like all that stuff. This one is probably the one I would lean to. Like, that one's probably realistic. In Hispanic culture, we have our own Mexican Chupacabra. We have El Cucuy, literally the same thing.
Okay.
But as I got older, I'm like,
it's like Yeti versus Bigfoot. Same thing, basically.
Yeah. And then like I started to grow up, and I'm like, that's just what my aunts and my mom would tell the kids to get inside the house. Then, because they would say like, El Cucuy, he'll take you, and you will run inside the house thinking you'll get taken and eaten alive by some creature because it was an urban legend. And then you get older, and I'm like, I think that was your way of making sure that I got inside. I got inside of it.
Right? That's exactly right.
Now,
so what is it? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I have a personal history with Sasquatch.
You have a personal history with Sasquatch. Personal history.
My great grandmother was Choctaw, from the Choctaw Nation down in Louisiana, and at night on the reservation they were not allowed to be outside at night because that's when they call them the old people would come out at night. That was their time, and they went inside, and which was really crazy. She told me this when I was like ever since I can remember. She would tell us stories about this. Numerous people of the nations believe in Bigfoot or Sasquatch. They believe they exist. They believe that they're spirits of the woods, animal of the woods. They believe that there is some spiritual connotation to this creature in the woods. So my dad, when he was 21, said that he was driving along on a highway one day, and this national forest came around a curve, and saw two of them standing there on the side of the road looking into a road. You know what a road grader is?
I think so, but
it's like it grates the road. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And he said that they stood tall enough to peer down inside of it. And he slowed down, and they went off in the woods. And that story always fascinated me. Mm-hmm. And when I was at the Navajo Nation, they're very adamant that they were real and they lived in the mountains. And many people was like, I've seen one, but we do not mention it to any outsiders or we can.
Why wouldn't you? Because
can you imagine their culture has been taken so much, and so
they're trying to protect this part of their heritage. Is that what you're saying? Wow.
And so
I looked at it like that. Okay.
So a TV show called Finding Bigfoot came out, and I was watching it one night. And
Finding Bigfoot. I loved watching that show. They're all a bunch of morons, but yes.
A bunch of morons. And
total morons.
And in the last 10 years, they've come out and said, you know what? Bigfoot, we believe it's nocturnal. And it sparked something in me because my great grandmother has always said that. They come out at night. And so I got really sucked into this. And
dude, I remember.
You remember?
I went with you. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember you going with me.
Roberto.
What would happen?
Years ago, when I used to live down near where Joe is, dudes said, hey, you want to come out with me and some of my buddies? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go grab a beer or something. No, we're going to go to the forest preserve and we're going to go wood knocking and start hunting for Bigfoot.
Oh my God.
We're talking 11, 12 o'clock at night, right? I'm like,
oh no.
What? This is a thing? You're pulling my leg is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah,
you're not really going to do this. He's like, no, for real, dude. I got 3 other guys. We're going to go out and we're going to start doing wood knocking and
we were all
howling and stuff like that.
We were all in ministry at the time.
Yeah, like forest preserve, like run out there, start howling out in the middle of nowhere, hoping something's going to call back at us, or like start, knocking trees and stuff and hoping something calls back at us, right? And kid you not, okay, so here's the funny thing, right? All of these guys are like, apparently y'all have been doing this for a while. I don't know how long, but brave guys going out to try and find Bigfoot in Kankakee, Illinois, right? Kankakee, Illinois. And so they start knocking on trees with these like massive logs or whatever and like hitting all of these trees. And they hit one and then something starts moving. They hear something moving in the log.
Oh, no.
And every single one of them darted in the opposite direction. And I'm standing there going, what the hell is going on right now? I didn't hear or see anything. And they go, something's in there, something's in there. And they run away. It was a friggin' squirrel that was probably just resting and trying to get some sleep and ran up the tree and took off going, what the hell are you guys waking me up for? Right? And after that, I was like, okay, these guys are brave enough to go find Bigfoot, but when a squirrel rustles in a dead tree, they're all taking off and running for their life. Like, what exactly am I doing here? Is like
I thought it was a raccoon.
My head. Raccoon? I don't know what it was. It wasn't a raccoon. It wasn't. I think the word raccoon came up like, it's a raccoon. And y'all ran away from the raccoon. I was like, really? What would y'all do and how would you react if there was a Bigfoot sitting right there, like staring you down if you're terrified of an animal in a dead tree stump? I'm still not entirely sure that was... I had fun, I'll put it that way.
Did we hear anything that night?
No, we didn't hear anything.
Did we
other
hear
than ourselves
river?
Howling at the moon and,
Was that the night we heard a tree knock back from across the river?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't hear anything.
And
I wanted to. I really did. Because Bigfoot's the one where I'm like, well, it's the only continent on the planet that does not have a large primate other than man, North America.
Thousands of people see it a year.
Right. Like
a year.
And
they're seeing something.
And there's recorded sightings of it throughout generations of history, like legitimately. So I get it. And the Patterson footage is, at first I always used to think, well, it's just like some dude in a costume and it's real fuzzy anyway and whatever. And then they started doing digital analysis of it and they started doing scientific analysis of the stride and the walk and the size of it. Like, I get it. I get why people are thinking, no, this isn't just some dude in a costume. I get that. I don't think Joe's the guy to go out into the woods and find it, though, because he left me to die by a raccoon. But and all his buddies.
I had a child. I needed protection.
You don't have to be the fastest. Just don't be the slowest, right? Like leaving me. The only reason they brought me there was in case there was a Bigfoot. They had something to get caught, and so they could all get away.
It's called being a distraction.
That's the whole reason I was there. I realized where I felt in the pecking order pretty quickly.
So let me tell you about the most terrifying experience of my life and why I have since stopped Bigfooting.
Since you've stopped Bigfooting?
No.
How long ago was this? I'm curious.
This is about 7 years ago.
What, 7 years? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I stopped going out in the woods because it scared the shit out of me.
All right.
So
I'm listening.
Of course, this happens in Louisiana. My older brother states that he's seen a Bigfoot while I was hunting. Now, we have black bears down there, and I just assumed it was a black bear. And he goes, okay, I was down there visiting, and he was like, do you want to go out to where I seen it? And maybe we can get like a response with you doing tree knocks and whatnot. And I was like, sure, why not? we got on a 4-wheeler, and this dude takes me like 3 miles into a forest preserve on an old forestry road at like 11 o'clock at night. So it's pitch black. And so we get out there, and I do one of those calls, and I hear something respond, and a lot of times coyotes will respond to the call.
Right.
So I sit there waiting. Now we're in the middle of BFE, and like
BFE.
I'm sorry, I should probably say BFE.
No, you're whatever.
Too late.
Dude, Man Cave Mondays, whatever.
So we're sitting there, and
excuse me.
What was
Sorry,
that?
I'm allergic to bullshit. No. Oh. That was way too low hanging fruit not to go.
That was
okay.
So we're sitting there, and you hear my wife laughing.
Yes, she gets it. She gets it.
So I do another call, and I do a tree knock, and I got a tree knock in response. But this time the call was closer. And so we wait about 10 minutes in pitch black darkness, and I do another tree knock, and we got a response back. And this time it was closer, a lot closer.
Okay.
And so whatever it was moving towards us. And I do a tree knock again. We wait about 10 more minutes, and this time it sounds like it's about 200 meters in front of us. We're like pitch black. It's swampy, not like a swamp, but it's swampy. And I start hearing a chattering noise, and the chattering noise was responding to another chattering noise, one on the left side of the road, one on the right side of the road, going through the forest. And then sticks started getting thrown at us, at our feet. Like sticks are like landing around us.
Really?
And like I'm starting to get freaked out. I'm in my flashlight.
Yeah.
I turn on, it starts to die.
Yeah, I'd be like, I think I'm gonna go home now.
Starts to die. And there's this fallen log across the way, and we have walked about 50 feet away from our 4-wheeler, and like we rode in on together. So I jumped over the log. My brother, bless his soul, is like a 300-pound man, so he's not moving very fast. And he gets there, and I do another call. I was like, just to see. And to the right of us, we hear this large body hit the water where it was swampy, and this deep like barrel growl, like we lost it. We freaked out. He jumped on the 4-wheeler. I jumped on the back of it, and we start taking off, right? And we're taking off, and he somehow floods the engine, and it goes pitch black. I'm sitting here to wherever.
You're not the people to find Bigfoot. I'm not going out with person. No, thank you.
So I'm sitting there with my back to the pitch blackness of the forest, wherever was making this noise. I'm like, hurry up. And it took him like 2 minutes to start the 4-wheeler, and that was it. I don't know what it was.
You're like, I think I'm done with that now.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it was, but there's if you look up on YouTube, Bigfoot vocalizations.
Bigfoot vocalizations?
Yeah. And that's what I heard.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I got to look that up.
No, look it up. Listen to it.
I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm saying.
It's called
Alberto.
Yeah.
You've been sitting here and quietly digesting all of this absurdity.
Yeah.
we got about 10 minutes here.
Mm.
What do you think? What do you think?
I've never looked into Bigfoot that much. I enjoy hearing this story because I've never. Okay, so full disclosure, the first time I heard of Bigfoot, you guys ever heard of a Goofy movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Goofy movie.
My idea
Dude
of
starts
Bigfoot,
like rocking out to like
Yeah.
you know, and the
and
headphones
then him
and-
like him going through like the luggage and just peeking his
Yes.
like his little eyeballs through the briefs. So my idea and my introduction to Bigfoot was that, and ever since then, it's been kind of hard to shake that it is like a spooky, scary, tough creature. I just think he's a big goofball, if anything, and that's it. And I think as I get older now, I just have more questions of like, even if we did like find like, let's say, since that's a female, it'd be really cool because then the next logical question is there a family? How large is that family? What do they eat? Like, what's their diet? I mean, like, there's not a lot of like stories that I hear like Bigfoot is ripping campers apart and eating its intestines and bodies missing. At least not that I've ever heard. And if there is, well, that's a whole different idea than what I thought Bigfoot was. But
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Mhm.
There's a documentary called Missing 411 on it.
Is there people like supposedly missing from Bigfoot?
They don't know what's taking people, but you should watch it.
Oh my!
Okay. So, Joe, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for Sierra Bigfoot calls.
Yeah. Let's see.
Finding Bigfoot. The sounds of Bigfoot. Is that what I'm looking at here?
Oh, please don't do that one. Don't discredit me.
I don't do anything with finding, but I'm not saying the show wasn't entertaining. It was definitely entertaining.
Joe's like, I'm trying to have people believe me, please.
Like what? Okay.
Absolutely.
So what am I looking for here?
Hold on one second.
I don't- Mysterious yell, finding Bigfoot. Everything's from that show, Finding Bigfoot. It's on YouTube.
Nope. I found it. Hold on one second.
Okay, if you share your screen with me and make sure you click the little share audio, I'll be able to share it. So I'm curious to hear what a Bigfoot sounds like. Allegedly. And your mic's gone. I don't know what happened.
Oh, my bad. I posted it in our chat. So
Okay, there we go.
now these vocalizations have been analyzed, and a human cannot possibly make them.
They have been
Analyzed. Yep. And a human's voice box cannot reach the vocalizations that are here.
Okay. So let me bring this up. Add to stream. Okay, here's what Alberto, a Bigfoot, sounds like.
We're in for a night, Bill.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
So what, like pounding?
Tree knocks.
Okay. Well, that sounds like an ape. Who's
That's what I
that?
heard. That's what I heard.
What? Say that. Wait.
That's what I
did you-
heard. Keep going. It's there's more.
What? I mean, that's a gorilla or ape of monkey of some kind. Some kind of. So that's the dudes trying to talk
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is that? What is that?
That's what I heard chattering like that.
Wait.
That's right. I don't know where we look for tracks on that for sure.
Y'all seen Planet of the Apes? Caesar got out. Caesar got out. That's what it sounds like.
But that's what I heard.
Wow, that must have been terrifying.
I don't know what. I cannot explain it, but I can't say it was a Bigfoot either because I never physically saw it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's just weird. And you were where?
In Louisiana.
In Louisiana.
Yep.
So where do you think Bigfoot's hiding? Apparently Louisiana.
No.
Or do you think like they migrate? Like what's the
theory is that they're a migratory species.
So like how are they getting across like Route 66 and stuff without being noticed? You know what I mean? Like how do you migrate across a densely populated country with all this stuff everywhere? I want to believe in Bigfoot. Part of me thinks there's something. It's the most plausible of all of the things we talked about tonight in my mind. But
so I'm gonna share.
I
with
still
you.
have my questions. So
I'm gonna share with you the most second convincing video I've seen of Bigfoot.
Second convincing video.
Uh-huh.
All right, let me see if I can find this. Hang on. All right. So this
is a clip. As a dashboard cam from a cruiser, police cruiser.
Dashboard cam from a police cruiser.
If somebody's kicking in your door, I can articulate that in court. They have got no good intentions. Their intentions are to harm you. I can very, very easily articulate that. But they will though. The old ladies in this county, they'll liable.
Okay, what am I looking for here? Where should I be looking?
Come right.
Yeah,
Right.
several of them tell me that. They're like, look, I live in this county.
Right here.
12 years old. Had the farm.
Right into this bridge.
Still got
Not
the
this
land,
bridge.
and anybody
It's
comes
at the
up
end of
my
one of the bridges.
On the
on
right, on the
West
left, or in the middle of the
Side.
street?
It goes across.
What the crap?
We missed
Did
it.
you see that?
Back it up.
What?
We missed it.
Yeah, I definitely missed it. What was it?
It's going across. Stop it right there.
All right.
Had the farm, daddy's farm. Still got the land. And anybody coming on my property looking for no good, I'm going to shoot them.
So hold on. Okay, so this is giving me some. I think it's just got. Is it buffering or is it the video is just terrible? Let me try and make sure the resolution is really high. Oh, quality is like 480p. What?
Whoa.
Okay.
The farm,
All right.
daddy's farm. Still got the land. And anybody coming on my property looking for no good, I'm going to shoot them.
Right there. There it was.
What the crap?
Did you see anything, Umberto?
No.
Back
I'm trying to
just
see
a little
anything.
bit. Just
Is he crossing from left to right or right to left? So then my eyes.
right to left. Right to left. You'll see him at the corner. Right. Back
Had the
up.
farm, daddy's farm.
Okay.
Still got the land. And anybody coming on my property looking for no good, I'm going to shoot them.
Right in front of the crossing. Right there. He's right in front of the
Okay.
rail on the left. Right.
Well, let's just keep watching the clip because maybe they'll go back to it.
What the crap?
Because that was easy to
Did you
miss.
see that?
Yes.
Holy crap.
What the heck was that?
That was on 2 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are they going to
Seeing things that
show anything more or no?
It's just that. It's something crossing at 10:30 at night on a back road. That's on 2 feet, covering the hair.
I couldn't see anything though.
It's
You see anything down there?
see. I'd be like, no, let's keep going. We don't have to go back.
We don't need to go see that.
We don't need to see that. What are you doing?
Okay, so is this clip going to show us any more or no?
It might show where it slows down.
Can you see if it's on that recorder?
Zoomed in on the left for best view. There we go. That's what I see.
There we go.
Whoa. The heck?
What the crap?
Okay, let's keep watching.
Effects with saturation. I mean, you guys can see something running, right?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's not selling it for me. That ain't
It's
no
not.
Patterson footage, that's for sure.
It's not Patterson. So,
You know, I
Um,
want to say there, but that's what
I believe
thought.
people are seeing something out there. But if you have Amazon Prime, look up Missing 411. This is actually a really good.
411?
Yep.
That's what it's called. 411.
Whoa. The heck?
Seriously. Like I'm not sure I'm seeing anything, dude.
Coming on my property to look for no good, I'm gonna shoot them.
Absolutely. Whoa.
Okay. I see a shadowy something.
I just grabbed that video. There has to be a higher quality one because I've seen a higher quality version of this.
I
But-
mean, I've seen like I see a shadowy something. Well, I don't know, dude. I don't know. What do you all think? Do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you not believe in Bigfoot? Leave us a comment. Let us know. I've never seen this footage before. I didn't even know this existed.
So next Sunday, or as soon as you found that photo, Alberto, send it to us.
I will.
Please do.
I'm gonna try to take the week to look for it.
Let's drop the audio of that. Okay, I'm trying to play it slower here because I really want to see what the heck it is you're talking about, Joe. Are we saying like right here? Like right?
Yeah. I
Like
think
right
it was
there.
that thing.
I don't know. That was. So it's come. Okay, so
Well, then, even if you had all this confusion, that goes in line with the like and dislike ratio. Maybe you belong in that 13K then.
maybe.
All right. It's
Oh, they
right
are
there. You see it?
there. Right there. Yeah. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
A blurry black blob. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Like
A
bitch,
blurry black blob in the dead of night on a police dash cam.
So I
It's
don't know.
not exactly convincing to me, but maybe.
But I'm surprised that you believe that you're more on the fence, not on the fence that it exists though.
I mean,
Have
it's
you ever
more
met someone
plausible.
who's seen one?
No.
Because you're like up in from Minnesota, right?
Yep,
Up
I've
north?
never met anyone who's at least been confident enough in sharing with me the fact that they had seen one. But it is the one that I feel like has had the most intense scientific research done on the evidence that's out there. And there's
Mhm.
a whole lot of BS. Tons of it that's real easy to debunk. Patterson footage and a few other things that are out there that I've seen like legitimately scientifically analyzed by professionals
Mhm.
who are extremely skeptical. And then at the end of it say, well, it's not a guy in a suit. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like that's They're not. I think because their professional careers are on the line, they're not exactly trying to confirm that it is Bigfoot. Because
Jane Goodall, we all know who Jane Goodall is, primatologist. Believes that they're real.
Really?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
guys ever watch Survivor Man
Mm-mm.
with Les Stroud?
Mm-mm. No, I've never seen it.
Apparently, he had an experience with one up in Alaska. He Survivor Man. He's like Bear Grylls. So,
Yeah, I was just about to mention like Bear Grylls, basically. Yeah.
And he had one, and he came out on Joe Rogan's show. And was like, "Here's my experience," and it was terrifying, and it made him a believer.
Crazy.
Well,
yeah, we're getting near the end of the night here.
Yeah, we are.
I think it's about time to wrap it up. I know Alec was saying to look up cop car chase of quote ghost car. I have seen that footage. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Let's end it on this.
Ended on ghost car.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can find it. Okay.
Have you seen this, Al?
Mm-mm.
I have seen this, and I know 100% what exactly is happening here. It's not a ghost car. It is not a ghost car, but it is interesting to see. So I'm curious.
While you're looking that up, I'm just gonna say, I think one of my favorite things about like a Friday or Saturday night with a group of like cousins or friends at 2 a.m. is looking up these videos and just going down that YouTube rabbit hole of audio clips, videotapes, video surveillances, and you just scare yourself to death. And the next thing you know, sun is rising, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm safe now. I can go to bed now. That's always my favorite thing.
Right?
Conspiracy theories things.
Pretty much. Okay. So let me see here. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. Share this real quick, and then we'll call it a night. This is, let's see if I can. And I don't want to show the commercial for sure. So let me. All right. So let me make sure this is completely there. There we go. Okay. Oh, stop. I don't want to do the slow motion video.
We've seen how strange things can get at night. Well, things are about to get a whole lot stranger. This mysterious driver tricks cops into thinking he's about to pull over, then all hell breaks loose. The officers watching this tape get only a quick glimpse of the man behind the wheel. It's the last look they'll get. For a moment, it appears as if the driver and his car have disappeared into thin air. But in the blink of an eye, the driver comes into view again. This time, he tries to outrun the police rather than just vanish. His moves are still baffling to the police as he swerves all over the road, driving like a man possessed. And just when he's really thrown the cops for a loop, he gets back on a straightaway, showing off a seemingly supernatural speed.
Yeah. And then
in just a moment, he's going to make a turn into the twilight zone. Watch. The fence at the end means no way out, or does it?
It's very clear that he drove over the fence.
Unable to make sense.
He didn't go over it.
All they
No, he
see
didn't go
is
over
an
it. The fence
intact
is still
went
up.
under.
Nothing
He went
more
under.
than the vanishing taillights of what the Garden City PD has come to call the ghost car.
Ghost car.
When,
So
The
My
best
se-
That's
RPG
Ghost
on
Car.
PC.
that is
My-
Ghost car.
my senior year in high school,
What do we think?
I had a car that was a piece of junk. I paid like $100 for it, and it's my junior year in high school, and I parked it by our tennis courts, which was up on an incline, right?
Mhm.
And I came out. It's 3:00, and someone's like, "Hey, you left your lights on." And I was like, "Great, my car battery's dead." And I put it in neutral, and I cranked it up, and it worked. I said, "Awesome." So I turned it off, got out my car, chat with my friends. My car rolled down the incline, hit the fence for the tennis court, went up under it onto the tennis court.
Mhm.
That's what happened.
And the fence went right back down behind you.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. I do have one creepy story involving my car
Okay, let's hear
that I
it.
am remembering. I have no explanation for this, and I can't explain it. I really have no idea. And I'm remembering it now because of the whole car thing. We're gonna end on this, and we'll call it a night. I am newly residenced in Illinois.
Mhm.
I have a 1991 Pontiac Grand Am.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beater POS car.
A real
Mhm.
showstopper.
Total bag magnet, right? Total bag magnet. I am a really dumb, poor college kid. Didn't have gas in my car, right? Like, realized I am on empty. You guys
Okay.
get that feeling like when you're like, the light's on, it's been on, you don't know how long you're going to have, and you don't know where the next gas station is, right?
Yeah.
I'm driving down the road. I can see that there is a gas station, like, I'm trying to, like a minute down the road, right? Minute, maybe 2 minutes down the road to the right. I can see it. I'm like, dear God, please just let me get to the gas station. I don't know how much gas is left in this car. It's starting to go out, and it starts dying. And the car just, I'm like, okay. I cranked up the gas, tried to get it to like as much momentum as I can, right? And I'm like, dear God, can I just coast into the gas station so I can get some gas in my car, right? It's starting to slow down. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to have to walk on a busy highway to get off and make it to the gas station. Don't want to do that. Kind of dangerous. And I just go, God, please let me get to the gas station. Kid you not. The second those words come out of my mouth, the car starts going and accelerating, and I'm touching absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, the gas pedal is going down, like legitimately going down. And there's no gas in my car. There's none. Like, the thing died and it's coasting. And it suddenly just goes and starts accelerating. And I get to the gas station and the car shuts off. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? Right? I'm like, I have no idea how this happened. No idea how this happened. To this day, I'm like, I don't know.
Dad's guardian angel was like,
apparently someone knew I needed to
It's
get
time
to
for
the
me.
gas station, and
Let me take the wheel,
couldn't do
not
it by
Jesus.
walking to the gas station. So, kind of freaked me out, kind of crazy. I've never said anything about it to anybody, to be honest with you. Never said anything about it. I don't even think my wife knows about that, because we were engaged at the time, and I'm like, girl's not even going to marry me if I tell her this crazy story. She's not going to buy it for 1 second and think she's marrying a psycho or some weird dude. So, yeah, that's my weird, crazy, unexplainable, creepy car story.
that's good.
What do you think? What do you think? I'm curious. What do you think?
I think the fumes for the exhaust leaked in.
Yeah.
Dude, my car died. It was totally dead, coasting. How does it start itself and then start accelerating without me touching anything? I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but I swear to God on my life, it absolutely happened exactly like that.
Was it cruise control?
No, I like cruise. Maybe something weird happened with cruise control. Sure, that doesn't explain how the car kicked back in after it stalled. And the cruise control is like, so here's the weird thing about this car, right? The cruise control isn't on the dashboard. The cruise control and all the windows, like power windows and everything, it's all in the center of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Center of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like where the glove compartment, the glove box is, all that stuff, right? So my hands are here. My feet are down there.
Okay. What do you think,
I'm
Al?
not touching anything. I'm not. It was weird. It was weird. It's very weird.
I don't know enough about cars to be able to like say it's like, oh, obviously this part of your car ran into this part of its like I don't know. So the uneducated mechanic that I am, I would have to say it was a miracle. But I'm sure
I definitely attribute it to a miracle, whether it was a logical one and I don't understand. But yeah.
But if not, a close friend of mine does work at a Toyota dealership. So worst comes to worst, I could just ask him, hey, I'm going down the road, my car stalls. What's gonna happen to my car right after?
You have to make sure that you're driving a 91 Grand Am.
91 Grand Am.
91 Pontiac Grand Am.
AKA Lady Killer Ghost.
With the
Yeah.
V6 in it, baby. What?
Oh, there goes at least 20 miles.
Right. Right. So, anyways,
all right.
So that was fun.
It's good talk, guys.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
It was a deep conversation at times. Next week, we're going to dive into creepy video games, I think.
All right.
That's what we're going to talk about. We
good.
did movies last time. We'll dive into.
Are we going to stream a video game?
I think that'd be fun. We've talked about doing that. I would love to do that. I don't know which one we would do yet.
I think the only one we can do is World War Z, right?
World War Z or Dying Light or Friday the 13th.
I know
Friday
you
the
want
13th isn't cross-platform though,
It's
right?
not.
The other ones are, yeah. Or
Dead by Daylight,
Dead by Daylight. That's what I was thinking. Not Dying Light. Dead by Daylight.
or Among Us.
Among Us would be fun.
Because
That's a big hit right now. Or we could do Killing Floor 2.
Oh yeah,
You guys know that one?
I do.
Know that game.
I know that one.
My friend Dan bought it for me.
It is absolutely nuts. It is like Call of Duty Zombies on steroids. Like
And some creepy clowns. I started playing it. My wife.
if-
It's the only time my wife said, "Please do not play this around the children."
for real. Like it is like if Doom and Nazi zombies had a love child. That is exactly what what Killing Floor 2 is. And it's pretty intense. So, and you can
I'll
do
be
it to
down for
6
that.
people. So, hey, maybe if Sherry wanted to join us, she could join us for
She
that.
has again. Sherry, do you want to join us next week?
Play a video game.
Play a video game. She says, "Sure."
Really? That would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah.
Get a creepy video game.
Yeah, she would scream the entire time.
Really creepy video game that we'll all play together.
All right.
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right.
Thank
guys
you
have a
so
good
much,
night.
everybody, for sticking with us and tuning in this whole time. This is a fun conversation, and we will definitely be having a fun conversation next week.
Okay.
Happy October and Halloween and all that good stuff.
All right. You guys have a good
All
night.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.